When did you realize you were not the favorite child? The moment it hit me was at my younger brother's graduation party last month. Jake's 26 and just finished his master's degree. His second attempt at it, mind you, after dropping out the first time to find himself through a 6-month backpacking trip that my parents funded. I was sitting there watching my mom beam with pride as she showed off his diploma to literally everyone at the party, including the poor pizza delivery guy who just wanted to get paid and leave. She kept saying things like, "We're so proud of our brilliant son," and "He's always been so naturally gifted." Meanwhile, I've been the responsible one my entire life. I graduated valedictorian from high school, got a full scholarship to college, finished my bachelor's in 3 years, and went straight into a stable career in accounting. I bought my own house at 25, never asked for money, and have been financially independent since I was 22. But somehow, none of that ever seemed to matter. The real kicker came when my aunt pulled me aside and said, "Your parents must be so relieved that Jake finally got his life together. They were worried he'd never amount to anything after all the money they spent on his adventures." That's when it clicked. They weren't proud of Jake despite his struggles. They were proud of him because of them. Every time he screwed up, they got to swoop in and save the day. Every small achievement felt monumental because the bar was set so low. He was their project, their redemption story, their proof that love could conquer all. I started thinking back to my childhood, and suddenly, so many things made sense. When I brought home straight A's, it was expected. When Jake passed a class he'd been failing, it was celebration time. When I won academic awards, they'd nod approvingly and ask if I'd thanked my teachers. When Jake made the JV basketball team, after being cut twice, they bought a banner and hung it in the garage. I remember being 16 and desperately wanting to quit piano lessons because I hated them, but my parents insisted I continue because, "You're so good at it, honey." Jake quit soccer, baseball, and guitar lessons within months of starting each one, and they just shrugged and said, "That's okay, we'll find something else you're passionate about." The financial disparity was insane too. They paid for Jake's college entirely, plus his living expenses, plus his failed business venture, plus his European soul-searching trip. I got a modest graduation gift and a pat on the back for my scholarship. They co-signed his car loan when his credit was terrible. But when I asked them to co-sign for my first apartment at 20, because I had no credit history, they said it would be good for me to build credit on my own. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bitter about being independent. I'm actually proud of what I've accomplished. But it stings to realize that my parents' love felt conditional on my success, while Jake's felt unconditional despite his failures. The worst part is that I still catch myself seeking their approval. Even now, at 28, I find myself sharing my work achievements or home improvement projects, hoping for that same enthusiasm they show for Jake's basic adult milestones. But I'm starting to accept that I'll never be their favorite, and that's okay. I think some parents gravitate toward the child who needs them most, and that was never me. I was too competent, too self-sufficient, too easy. Jake gave them purpose in a way I never could. I'm working on finding validation from within, instead of from them. It's harder than it sounds, but I'm getting there. Thanks for reading. Sometimes you just need to tell strangers on the internet that you finally figured out something that's been eating at you for years.